Jester, level 11 upgrade. So a while ago I was running Jester around and all of a sudden he stopped running. The ESC was blinking red really fast and I thought that the ESC fried. Well, after talking to quite a few people, they ended up pointing out to me that the servo was dead. And sure enough, when I unplugged it, yep, the ESC turned on and everything was working fine. So this needs to go. So I was looking around for a long time trying to find the perfect servo, and Mad Bass Massacre donated this HiTech Servo to me, which is simply awesome. Thanks again, man. Now it is missing an arm, but that's not a problem, believe me. To have Jester up and running again is just overall really cool. So let's go ahead and get this one installed and take that one out. So for convenience sakes, I'm just going to go ahead and take the motor out as well as the ESC. The ESC can easily just slide out of its space when you open the battery door. Now for the motor, I need to go ahead and undo this screw right here. Now that that's out of the way, I need to undo the transmission cover, which is held in one screw, which is right there. Now that that screw is out of the way, I can pop off the transmission cover. Put that to the side, unplug the motor, turn the motor away, and pull it out. Should be, there we go. Haha. Now I'm going to undo the waterproof receiver box, which is held together with 4 screws. 2 right here and 2 right here. Okay, we're going to pull this part off, set that to the side, and this can now come apart. As you can see, I went ahead and did unplug the ESC from channel 1. So now I need to pull this out from the top and undo the servo from the chassis, which is held in with 2 screws, 1 on each side. Now that those screws are gone, I'm going to flip it upside down. I'm going to pull off the servo guard, and then I need to undo this screw right here. Take that screw out, and then I can go ahead and pop off the arm, move that to the side, and then I can pull out the old servo. Just like that. So when I do a quick comparison from the stock Traxxas servo to this HiTech one, you'll notice that, well, the wire comes out the back for one, and it is just a little bit longer. So what I'm going to have to do in order to get it to fit is I'm going to sand down each side on top and bottom of the chassis, that way it can slide into place. Alright, you can see the little groove that I made for the wire to fit through. So now I'm going to go ahead and feed the cable through the bottom and stick it straight through the chassis. Just like that. And now I'm going to feed the cable right through the receiver box and then plug it into channel 1. Then I'm going to hook up a battery, center it, and then I can go ahead and hook it up to the steering bell cranks. I'm going to turn on the remote, center out the steering trim, battery's plugged in. Now I'm going to turn it on, and the servo is straight. So now I'm going to go ahead and make sure that the tire is as straight as I can get it, and then I'm going to reconnect the arm to the servo. I went ahead and reattached the screw that holds the steering bell cranks to the servo. I'm going to reinsert the servo guard and I'm going to flip it over. On this side, I'm going to go ahead and reinsert the 2 screws that hold it down, 1 on each side. Now that that's taken care of, I'm going to go ahead and adjust all the wires from the servo and the ESC into the waterproof receiver box and attach the plate that goes across right here. With that taken care of, I can go ahead and stick that lip into that hood, tuck in all the wires, push the box down, and seal it with the 2 screws, 1 on each side. Next up, I can go ahead and install the motor. So I'm going to push that peg into this hole. And then I need to get the proper spacing in between the pinion gear and the spur gear. I'll just go ahead and use a piece of paper, and then when I get the perfect alignment, then I'll use the motor mount screw, which holds the motor to the motor mount plate right here. Okay, now I can go ahead and reattach the transmission cover and reinsert the screw that holds it on. And all that's left after that is pushing the ESC back into the place, closing the battery door, and plugging the motor back in. So I have a battery plugged in, and it's time to go ahead and test everything out. And if you hear a buzzing noise, that's just a stupid 27 megahertz radio that I have hooked up. Don't get very good signal in here. So let's go and test the steering. Perfect. Ooh, that is nice. As for the throttle, Awesome! It's good to have Jester back. So before I end this upgrade, thank you again, Mad Bass Massacre, for donating the servo. Believe me, it is simply awesome to have this RC up and running again. But that was Jester's level 11 upgrade.